share with my great-grandpa David. My first thing I want to share is my family tree. First, you can see me and my sister, then my mommy and daddy, and their sisters and brothers and their children. Then you can see my grandpa and grandmas, and their moms and dads, which are my great-grandpas. The next thing is my timeline. The first thing on my timeline is when I was born, in 2005. The second is when my sister was born in 2006. And the third thing is I moved to Macedonia for 1 year. The fourth thing is my dad had a major surgery, which was bad. And the fifth thing is that I went to England and it was very, very fun. The next thing I want to share with you is my great-grandpa David's timeline. So first, he was born in 1925. Next, he let God go into his heart. Then he saw President Roosevelt, and President Roosevelt actually waved at him. Lucky him! And then next, he was drafted into the army. And then he married a beautiful woman named Georgia. Then he moved in a house in Covina, which he still lives in. Next, he had his first granddaughter, who was me. Next, he celebrated with a big party his 60th anniversary. Next, I put when I interviewed him on his timeline. Right there.
Cute.
The next thing I want to show you is my two pictures. This is from the interview, and so is this. Do you show the both from the interview? Maybe you guys over here can see.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I read that.
Maybe you guys can see this, but I didn't see that.
So tell us about the interview. What were the kinds of questions you asked him, and what did you find out?
So the first question is, what is your full name? His full name is David Lyle Bradley. And the next thing is, where and when were you born? March 3rd in Wilmington, California. The third thing is, what are the names of your brothers and sisters? David, that's him, he's the oldest. John, Andrew, Joseph, James, Thomas, Susan, Mary, and Mark. Mark is the littlest.
How many is that?
9? Are there 9?
10.
10.
The next thing is, did you serve in the military? And what were you trained for? Yes, he was drafted into the army. Do you know what drafted means?
Yes.
He was forced to fight.
Most drafted.
Shh, okay, go ahead.
Is that right? Yes, he was drafted into the army. At the end of World War II, he was trained for office work because one eye couldn't see really good.
So he couldn't
He might have
fight.
died. He might have been in the army and died if his eye hadn't been not working right. So that kind of saved him. But my fifth thing is, when did you get married and where was your honeymoon? August 31st, 1947. They took a long honeymoon to Vancouver, Canada. 6. When did you accept Jesus? 5 years old. 7. What words of advice do you give me? Love Jesus with all your heart. My next thing, last thing. Well, wait a second. Well, this is something from his life. These are real silver. These are made of real silver. Real silver.
What, Natania, what's it from?
Real silver.
It's from his marriage. If you can look at it.
Real silver? Wow. That's real silver.
It was a present.
So I guess there's
Wedding.
some silver that silver.
Go ahead, Natania.
I want to end my presentation with a funny story. my last thing is a story. One day, my great-grandpa was in a was in a car. And his grandpa said, "Hey, look at that huge roller coaster." It was one of the most biggest roller coasters in the world right then. And
What is it called?
I don't know. And his grandpa was like, "Yeah, let's go on it." But my great-grandpa was kind of afraid. But his grandpa said, "Don't be afraid. I've been on 3 roller coasters before." so they got their tickets, got strapped on, and the roller coaster started to climb the hill. But when it started to go down, it went down so fast that his grandpa yelled, "Pray like you've never prayed before!" Because he was so afraid of his grandpa. And my great-grandpa just sat there yelling.
Do we have any? Let's give her a hand. Nice job, Natania. Oh. Okay, do we have any questions for Natania? Any questions? Shh. Any questions?
This says, "Pray like you never prayed."
We have a couple of questions here.
Okay, let's see. Alex.
Alex, why didn't you put a tree on the family?
That's her tree right there. It didn't have to be a tree necessarily. You could make it however you wanted. Okay?
Exactly.
Nothing.
This is not a question, but my grandpa had major surgery too.
My daddy, it was on his stomach.
It was on my grandpa's stomach too.
Similar.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're learning all about that.
Yeah, intestines.
Intestines. Very good. All right. Any more questions? No more. I know. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else? Nice job. Let's give her one more hand.